Morning, morning, folks. Hope you are well. I'm just testing out the new kind of screens and stuff, so I'm just going to do it today. In this section here, in case you, actually, how do I show you this? Oh, I can't show you this. In this section to the right here, right? This will normally be where the chat is. I think when we move to simplicity, I'll probably start doing YouTube private streams. So I'll post a link in the morning to a private YouTube because I think the quality is better on there. But again, it'll be down to you. You guys can decide. I'm not sure if it's 1080. So can you guys see this quite clearly? Is it 1080p or is it 720? Morning Ash, morning John, morning Silver. I just kind of want to know what quality you guys are seeing on the live stream because I'm pretty sure it's not 1080, even though it's supposed to be 1080, but I don't think it's streaming in 1080. But is it clear, Ash? So is everything on screen looking like 1080? Because obviously I can't see it from your... It is clear. Okay, fair enough. Because I see the recordings, and recordings are obviously fine, but I wasn't sure if the live streaming was clear enough. How about for you guys, John, Silver? Yeah, I mean the chat. This section, that chat section is because I'm going to start doing YouTube lives 3 times a week again as I go. Think it's fine. Okay, good. All right. Well, maybe I'll stay on Discord then. Anyway, I haven't felt like I've streamed a lot recently. There's nothing really. Yesterday was nothing really for me to look at, so there's no point in me coming on, wasting your guys' time to talk about something that, nothing is there. Chart screen's a bit small. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll increase that. I'll increase that, mate. Actually, I can do this. Let's do this. There we go, back to normal. I'll go and modify it and everything for obviously the relaunch. Anyway, let's get into the chart, shall we? Let's get into the chart. So the SPX today, there's a little air of positivity, which I don't particularly buy. With the Russian gas being, with Europe, etc. Okay, corporate earnings, but we just had some pound data out, which obviously wasn't great in terms of the inflationary words, which I think is still the biggest, what's causing the market to fall right now. So we have ECB on Thursday. I think the market waits for that. As I said, I don't buy this push. It still looks that maybe we were wrong in saying this is ABC. Maybe we're doing this. ABC continuation. Until it gets to this area, again, I'm not gonna call that this downtrending market is over. Certainly not yet. But we can't discount what we're seeing. It's a decent close above, albeit it's on lowering volume. So I'm trying to get my bias, the bias that I have in my head, out my head, essentially trading what I see and not what I think. So it's kind of a difficult one right now because, again, you cannot, if I zoom in on this, you can't discount what we're seeing. It's a decent push, right? We're seeing a little bit of risk-on sentiment. Morning, James. A little bit of risk-on sentiment coming into the market, certainly yesterday, with the yen weakening off, as it has been. And, those commodities being quite strong relative to the, let's say, the US dollar and the Swiss. But it still is corrective phase, right? It still is corrective phase. So, what do we think? I mean, what do you guys think? Are you buying this push? Do you think we kind of move on from here? Marabuzo candle. Again, I worry about that lowering volume. But if we zoom out and we look at the weekly, this for me is looking like, well, are we getting a 20-period catch-up? It certainly is corrective still. And this is why I don't buy it. You read that in those investing articles in the morning every day. I think they just kind of put together what's going on. Well, it's just funny how the news relates to the candles and the technicals and the fundamentals kind of correlate with these investing articles talking about Russian gas talking about okay corporate earnings, you know, there's nothing really to push this and say, right, we're over now for me, you know. So one candle's not enough. No, yeah, I agree, one candle's not enough. I agree with that, John. As I said, bias is still down, but we can't discount that it is a strong candle. You know, for example, when we see pullbacks that are quite impulsive in nature, a lot of the times they do push on, right? So that is my kind of thing with this, is we broken through this anchor. I do agree that I don't think this sustains. So ultimately, I'm looking at more risk off. Maybe we get that on Thursday with a rate hike, which is expected out of ECB. Again, I'm not going to say what's that going to do to the market, because wait for that market's reaction to see. And in times like this, you know, in times like this, I'm more than happy just to sit back and just let the market tell me what it wants to do. Give me some direction, whether it be a push up here, because, you know, if we do push on and get to somewhere around this area, then your mind starts to shift to say, well, what's happening now? You know, maybe in a month, CPI data is starting to flatten off. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, this is still in corrective, and bias is still down. Bias is still down. And we're noticing that as price action is like this, for me personally, I'm really getting nothing. It's like a needle in a haystack looking for setups for me in my strategy. And that's what I normally find when we're in these kind of strange conditions. Notice it this morning and continue. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the strange thing about the push. Like, I understand corporate earnings may be better than expected. I understand the Russian gas stuff, but the market is dictated by inflation right now. You know? So what has changed? You know, what has changed since, I mean, even this morning coming out of the pound? Nothing's changed, right? And I think is getting worse, right? Getting worse. In terms of the accelerated rate of inflation. I'm not saying the actual number, I'm saying the accelerated rate. So, yeah, I'm holding firm on this. I think maybe going out to the weekly would give you a better indication there. They're saying, okay, we're just in this corrective phase, possibly a 20-period catch-up. But still think this goes down. Still think it goes down. Keep selling the yen. Yeah, that's been the play, right? That's been the play. So the dollar looks relatively weak, and I think that continues. I think you'll have that inverse relationship between the SPX and the dollar, possibly back to this 20 on the daily. I don't like these candles, though, I have to say. I don't like this slight pullback that we're getting here. Not as confident in from a technical wise in dollar longs right now, I have to say. If we go to the weekly, maybe we're at the end of that impulse and possibly need a deeper corrective. We can't go against this, right? I'm not going to say sell the dollar. How are we going to go against? This is a weekly chart. How are we going to go against that? We're not going to do that. So looking for that reason to buy it, which may come on Thursday again. Let's see. Another one. Let's just see how the technicals go. I could see some negative price action because this is relatively strong to the downside before positivity, or we could get a deeper corrective from a weekly sense in that dollar before it potentially continues in that uptrend. So I'm not going to say buy the dollar right now. I don't agree with that. There's nothing telling me to buy the dollar. I think corrective pullback is still on the cards. So if you're looking intraday, selling the dollar, for me, depending on how London opens, would make sense. We could get our ABC on smaller time frames here, trapping retail into longs, potentially then going short. Decent, strong movement to the downside. So intraday bias would be continued potential weakness, possible rangy around that 20 period. You know, we've seen the 20 period act as dynamic support. Not all the time, but, you know, a few of the times. For continuation, potential longs. But intraday shorts, waiting for a reason to buy the dollar. But again, for me, it's just I'm not really interested in trading this market. That's the main thing I'm trying to say. USD yen 1 hour up, I'm presuming. Do you know what? That's in a nice position. That's actually nice. Very nice. Got your head and shoulders there. 4 hours, great. 4 hours, good. You can see it there, right? You can see the head and shoulders we've identified there on the 4 hour. Daily slight pullback. Trend is obviously up. I did say I wasn't a massive fan of it here, but obviously I was wrong on that. Decent push through. 2 days in. It's whether can I buy that there? The yen being weak, for me. But from 4 hour downwards, I'm really from here, apart from the weekly, and you can say, well, the weekly's going up. I'm buying it if it goes up. Yes, you're right on that. But 4 hour downwards, it looks really nice. Breaks through that area. It's very simple pullback, and you're looking for another impulse move to the upside. Yeah. No, it's not stopping me earning, John. It's not stopping me earning. I was looking at the yen quite a lot. I just didn't get a setup. But that's what I would personally look at. I think I was looking at Aussie yen, Kiwi yen, but I just haven't got a setup, mate. That's it. But like I said, I like where the 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30 minute is. It looks pretty good. Daily's going with the trend, and like I said, this is just for me. You know, this is for me where I'd be worried about, am I buying that from a weekly perspective too high? But then people are going to say, well, Ryan, you know, you could have bought it here. Maybe you thought it was too high. You could have bought it here. I understand that. It's just my personal way that I look at charts. Because somebody else will say, or John, you'll say, it's going up. I'm buying with the momentum. And that absolutely makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. Yeah, probably do. I probably do. But I think the yen, I'm just trying to think if I've not taken a setup selling the yen, I just don't think I've had a setup. And maybe, maybe you're right. Psychological bias towards not set or selling the yen right now. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I just can't think of a trade that I haven't taken. And again, maybe over the past 2-3 months, maybe there is something I haven't taken selling the yen, but I can't really remember it. But yeah, it's true. I remember a few years ago, I think I had the same thing with the euro. I don't think, obviously not to the same extent, because this is when I was watching, I was a FOREX signals member, years and years ago. And one of the mentors there was saying the euro should be strong fundamentally because of X and Y. And that just wasn't the case. I kept buying the euro and it kept going down. So I had this bias in my mind that I'm like, well, the euro should be strong against X, Y, and Z, but it didn't happen. Maybe you're right, John. Maybe you're right. A hidden psychological bias towards selling the yen. Anyway, the setups today, I've got Euro, Aussie, USD, Singapore dollar. I'm not sure whether these are broken. Euro, Aussie, cup with handle. I like where this daily is. I really like where this daily is. I think you guys can see this. Corrective here at our anchor. It's not B wave, but is an anchor to the corrective. It is potentially involved here with a daily breakout, potentially involved with a 4 hour breakup. A few more days to go before that sets up. However, if it does decide to break to the downside, we do have our pattern here. First structure, second structure, cup with handle. We're looking for possibly a cup with handle within a cup with handle. So we're getting a reaction off this area here. Although the zone is not perfect. Right, the zone is not perfect. I know that. 4 hour wise, I was trying to make sense of potentially getting involved in here, but in terms of context, I could have looked at here and here maybe. It's just not very clean. So if this breaks through this area and gives us our cup with handle within a cup with handle, potential breakout and retest, because of where this is, like the context, the higher time frame context is great. But again, do I agree with selling the Euro Aussie? Probably not, but I really like this chart. So potential breakout retest on Euro Aussie. I will look at it again for this level, but it's not perfect, is it? It's not perfect, but there's something there. There's something there that put it on the list for me. Euro Aussie potential shorts. But again, maybe I'm trying to pick that just because I want to look at something when it's not A class, it's not great. The other one here was USD Singapore dollar, and that's gone. So I was looking at this context again, like where the daily is here, but as we've broken through, that is off. So you know, it's for me, needle in the haystack. For me, it's a needle in the haystack. Is there anything you guys are looking at? I don't really want to force anything. You know, I just don't want to force anything. I'm in quite a good position. I'm only going to take a trade that I'm comfortable in. And right now, this week, I don't think it's a week that I will be trading. Last summer was a nightmare. I think I was about, let me see if I can bring it up. I can't remember what I was down. It was certainly horrible. Let's see if I can bring up my last summer. Where is it? Anything you guys are looking at? How's your trading been? I've seen you hit some TPs, Ash, right? Are you up now on your FTMO? Silver, have you started your FTMO? Hold on, sorry guys, I'm just trying to get my last here we go. Still a little down. Actually had a good, oh yeah, remember June last year was absolutely horrible. Negative 12.4. I remember May was hitting everything, but not hitting it for a lot. June, yeah, was minging. So I'm doing better than I was last year. July was minging. August, I didn't take a trade, but I missed that. I can't remember what it was. It was a euro. I think it was. I can't remember what trade because it was a Monday. I remember it was a Monday and my internet shut off in the whole area. You can't see it. Oh, sorry, guys. You just see it on my files. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm getting confused now which screen because I've got my one here. I'm thinking, okay. So let me go back. So in June of last year was the negative 12.4, right? Where I lost. Look at that, lost everything. And that's kind of been the story of this year, really. But I'm coming out with you know, negative twos, and then obviously last month of 5. This was a good month. I remember this one with commodities. Yeah, commodities did me quite well here. Again, no big winners. It just shows you that some months you're just winning a lot, but you're not having big trades. You're coming out with 11%. And then July, negative 4.6. August, I didn't take a trade, but as I said, I should have had an 8% on that. And I think I got 4%. Again, September wasn't good. And then I started to kind of come back in October, November, December. But yeah, notoriously summer is difficult, which is why I think just being a little bit patient, waiting for the right setup. If you wait a month or 6 weeks and then you get an EU, I don't understand when you're doing a challenge, it's different. But for just maybe if you're doing a stock net or whatever, you got your own account, and you wait 6 weeks and then you get an EU for 13-14%, do you care? Nah, you don't care. We're here to make, you know, good percentage, which ultimately leads to money. You know, and before, as I'm sure a lot of you have done, you'd be trying to trade. Not saying this is you guys. Again, I go from my own personal experience. When less is more, I'll be trying to trade every day, force the market. And you just end up at the end of the year thinking, why the hell in June, July did I try and force this, or in August, September, whatever, because I would have made X percentage rather than this percentage, rather than Y percentage, etc. So that's why it's always good to have a longer term view. And it is summer. You know, this is something that I've not touched on, right? Summer is usually quiet. Sometimes it's usually not great for trading. Whether that's different right now because of the fundamental situation we're in is up to debate. But either way, what I'm trying to say is, for me, the markets are shite. Markets are shite, and I'm happy to stay away. Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's why I think it is slightly different. Maybe even last year was slightly different, just purely because of the fundamentals. It'll be interesting to see what happens when it all dies down. How trading changes from the last couple of years. You know, really coming from Trump. So That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. Anyway, anything you guys are looking at that you want me to have a look at before I head off? Remember, Friday, I'm not shutting down RTFX, but I'm going on holiday. I will be around the Discord if you want to ask any questions. Obviously, I will let you know. Nothing? Nada? Everybody's same as me? Okay. Have a lovely day, guys. Remember to trade safe, and I'll see you all in the morning. Peace.